So we celebrated Thanksgiving this past Sunday, and here's some leftover cobbler that we had. I've been making this cobbler for about 14 years. This is the way I make it. If it was the summertime, we had fresh peaches. I use about 10 to 12 fresh peaches, but since it's not a season, I go to Sam's Club and get the big jar of peaches, half peaches. I use about 14 peaches, and I cut them up into fours. If I was using fresh peaches, once I get through seasoning them, I'll put them in the oven for about 10 minutes to soften them up. But since these are out of the jar, I can just cut them up into fours, place them in a bowl, and from here you just add your seasoning. And for the seasoning, I use about 1/4 cup of white sugar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I like to use half of a lemon, squeeze that lemon juice out as well. I also put allspice in here, about 1/8 of allspice. You don't have to put it in there if you don't like to, but we like to put that in our peaches. And add a little bit of salt in here as well. And to thicken that juice up, you want to add about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Like I said, it was fresh peaches. I will give this a mix and then put it in the oven for 10 minutes. But since it's straight out of the jar, you don't have to because they're already soft. And for my batter, it just goes on the top of the peaches. I use, I like it thick, so I use 2 cups of flour, 12 tablespoons of butter, 2/4 cups of white sugar, 2/4 cups of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2/4 cups of hot water. And then you're going to get that all a good mix. You can cut your 12 tablespoons of butter in cubes, or you can just grate it like I did. You want to get out a good mix. Add the peaches back in the bowl. And once you're done mixing that, I use the ice cream scooper and just place it all over the peaches. And I put in the oven for about 425 for 40 to 45 minutes. Just it might be done before that, but like I said, this is a little bit thicker. You just want to place your fork in the middle or use a toothpick to see if it's cooked all the way through. And once you place that dough on top, I'm making some cinnamon sugar right here. You can add two tablespoons of brown sugar or white sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. You just add that on top of your dough before placing it in the oven. And then you want to give it a taste to make sure it's to your liking. And I add a little bit more cinnamon here. And you get a good mix, and then you place it on top of your dough. Like I said, I've been making this for the last 14 years. My kids love it. My family love it. So if you don't have any pie crust, or you want to make pie crust, I usually just do this. And like I said, I put it in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. And it turns out great. Here it is. My rendition of peach cobbler, no crust.